up, you guys? It's your boy the Kryptonian Saiyan here, back with another One Piece review. This time it's for chapter 41, and this chapter right here definitely closes out the Usopp Kaya arc. But this is the crazy thing about it, though, right? Once again, like those parallels, so strong, man. I love like the placement of the characters and the panels and the significance behind Kaya and Usopp's mother, because both of them are sickly. I'll get into that in a second. But let's just go over the big thing for this chapter, man. So the chapter opens up with a little bit of comedy. Luffy and Nami and Zoro are all out and they're eating. And Luffy, being the knucklehead that he is, when he eats the fish, he has to pull the fish bone out of his mouth. And I don't know how many of you guys are fish connoisseurs, but I am. And one of the things that I always have to watch for when I eat the fish is because I just love fish so much that I forget to check for the bones, you know? And Luffy's just eating the bones, and Nami has to tell him, like, most people don't eat the fish head and they don't eat the fish bones. And it's just like, Luffy bewilders me sometimes, but it's in a good way. And that's when Kaya shows up, and her design completely different, man. I said I wasn't gonna show it to you guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it though. All the other times we saw her, she was, you know, basically in the bedrobe, bedridden, and when we see her this time, she's out and she's like she's got like the little business top, she's got the blouse on, like she looks every bit like a woman, but right here she's smiling, and it's a different type of smile. That one is a little soft because she's, you know, talking about, you know, losing her parents. So right here, her face just lights up. And the only time I've seen her like that is when Usopp shows up. And if you'll look right here, you have Kaya, then you have Luffy smiling, then Usopp smiling. Just right there, just seeing that is beautiful placement right there, man. I would have preferred to see Usopp next to her, but beautiful placement. I love that. Like, this is what I mean. Oda does small things that I'm not sure get picked up on. I know some of you guys said that some of the things I pointed out in some of these reviews you didn't think about. This is what I'm talking about. Oda is really good. I am enjoying this bit of One Piece, but the other thing that I really enjoyed, was some of you guys might have picked up on, is I read a lot of strategy books and I'm real big on ancient history. So when this ship comes in, I didn't need the little side note that talks about how those were used in the 15th century, because I recognized the design when I saw it. That was pretty awesome, man, you know. And that goes back to something we saw in the very beginning of this little mini arc here, because I believe all of this is the East Blue arc, right? Clarify that for me in the comment section. But anyway, man, like Luffy's first thing to Kaya is give me a ship, and it ends, he gets a ship, and I'm reading it, I'm going, it's because you helped Usopp. And I mean, that's nice, man. It goes back to something that, you know, my mom used to always tell me: people you see on the way up are the people you see on the way down. And I mean, Usopp, for as annoying as he probably was to Luffy and the others, he ended up paying dividends for us. And after that, man, we do get to see Usopp, you know, kind of roll in with his entrance with his big ass bag where he's packed everything. Really reminds me of Naruto when Jiraiya was taking him to go train. And I have to get my Naruto volume to check, and obviously I've got the Naruto series behind me, but I would have to check. But I think that this chapter here came before Naruto went training with Jiraiya. So right here I could see where Kishimoto kind of pulled some of that out of here, man. That was pretty cool, man. But once again, just how everything's drawn, those two, same panel. And I want to bring that up because what we see after the fact is she's sad. She's sad, and it's because old boy's gone, man. And you can tell like how big of an impact that he has had on her. And what we end up finding out is basically Usopp was the one that was cheering up Kaya, because Kaya reminds him of his mother, because his mother was very sickly and in bed. And if you'll go back and just reread everything, you can definitely see where there are some similarities, because where have you seen this before? You saw that with Kaya. And it makes sense because that's his way of it gets explained by Mary that, you know, his way of trying to cheer up his mother was to say the pirates are coming because his father went away to sea and she got sick, and now Kaya lost her mother and now Kaya's sick. So it makes sense that that's the way that this is going. And on one hand, I can understand why he does that, but that kind of goes back to some other stuff, man. Like, it's very interesting that Oda decided to compare Kaya to Usopp's mother in a sense, because it would explain the relationship between the two and the dynamics and why he took so much of an interest in her, man. That was, again, very good writing. And I had a feeling something like this was coming because we found out about his father Usopp, but we never found out what happened to his mother. And I kept noticing, like, hey, they're always, you know, positioned next to each other in some kind of way. And he's drawing all these parallels between them. And as a writer myself, I look at that and I say, well, what exactly is going on here? What's the end game? What's the purpose of this? And now you see why. And the chapter ends off with, you know, basically Usopp joins the pirate crew of Luffy, and this is the funny thing about it. He says, "I'll be the captain." Luffy's like, "No, I'm the captain." And I want to end this review off with this right here. I thought it was really, really big to see Kaya, because when we first see her, when she gets introduced in this chapter, she's smiling. And towards the end of this chapter, she's got her head down and she's saying how hard, basically saying without saying, because Mary speaks for her, that it was really hard for her to let Usopp go. And it's not because she's lying about what happened. It's lying and letting him go because he's pursuing his dreams. And that's one of the hardest things, man. And I've talked to you guys before, mainly in those fairy tale reviews. I've talked to you before, you know, like I had a really bad breakup with my ex. And one of the things for me is, looking back on it, I know I made some mistakes, and I've had to come to the realization that it's probably best that we've gone our separate ways. As much as it hurts to say that, it's best to just go ahead and accept the fact that, you know, she was in my life for a reason, I was in her life for a reason, just the same way that Usopp was in Kaya's life for this reason, to help give her that strength. And now she's on her own, and she's, you know, she's overcoming her own sadness. And I think that that's key, man. Like, that's the beautiful thing about stories like this, is you can almost always draw out your own personal experiences. For me, I think back to my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, and, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I still have moments now where it's, you know, it's still in my head and everything, but, you know, I have to understand, just the same way that Kai is understanding, that you don't mourn somebody because they're no longer with you anymore. You remember the good times you had with them, and you take the good things you learned from them, and you understand that ultimately you're going to be a better person because of it. And that's the cool thing about this. So the chapter question I have for you guys is, what did you think about the farewell between Usopp and Kaya? You know, I think it says a lot to just about bonds, man. But those are just my thoughts and my views on this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Sorry I went on a little mini rant, you know, about my own stuff. Tend to do that from time to time. Once again, I apologize. But that's it for this review. If you like anything I had to say, make sure you comment, rate, subscribe, and share. I greatly appreciate it. That's it. Thanks for watching.